Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here with yet another 100% full game walkthrough. Today we're playing a game called Open Roads, and we'll be getting all of the achievements or trophies in the length of this video, which is probably approximately 35 minutes. This is newly added to Xbox Game Pass at the end of March 2024, and we're going to get right into it by starting a new game. Feel free to invert your axis as soon as you start, but we're going to get into it. We're playing a character named Tess, who is a young woman. Her mom's name is Opal, and her grandmother, who recently passed, is named Helen. We start the game inside of Helen's house. You can flip over the card and then pack it up. Let's go and start unlocking achievements and doing it quick. As soon as we gain control of our character, let's look to the front door and let's interact with the front door to head downstairs. This is a narrative game where there are a lot of different conversations that take place throughout the game, but luckily you can tab through this dialogue by just interacting with the kind of A button as quickly as possible. You're obviously free to enjoy this game. There's a lot of discovery and adventure. You can look around and interact with items, and you may find yourself playing for close to 4 hours on your first playthrough. There are a ton of little missable achievements and trophies along the way, but if you follow this video and you're willing to skip through the dialogue, I'll summarize the story a little bit for you as we play. We'll get it done before you know it. So let's just start tabbing through some of these conversations. None of the decisions really tend to matter. You can pretty much always pick the top option. You'll get a little bit of an objective shown in that diary on the left-hand side of the screen sometimes. But once you do gain control of your character, head up the stairs, and then once at the top of the stairs, take a left-hand turn. And here you'll locate the kitchen, which is a retro kitchen as your grandmother lived here. You want to head into the kitchen, open up the fridge, open up the freezer, and then leave. Your mom will yell at you for obviously making the barn into a freezer. And this, luckily, is our first achievement/trophy. Additionally, we can then walk towards the front door here. And instead of going up the stairs, go around the stairs. And here, if you look to the right-hand side, you should notice a little bit of a garbage. If you look in there, you can try to pick up a cup. You can try to put it back. Your mom will ask you why you're looking in her garbage. And this is yet another achievement or trophy. Things are pretty simple in this game, but a lot of these things can be quite easily missed. Luckily, there is a chapter select once we beat the game for the first time. At this point, we're ready to head up the stairs. At the top of the stairs, go to the back left room. This room right here, as we approach it, your mom will get a call. If it's not obvious, this game does take place in the kind of mid-early 2000s, so it does have a very nostalgic feel, especially for someone like me who was born in 1991. Kind of the cell phones and just the general vibes you get from this game are pretty well made. This is not like my favorite game ever. It is about a mother-daughter relationship, which obviously not something I'm extremely familiar with. But it is pretty unique in its own way, and it's an Annapurna game, so it kind of has that unique kind of charm, and it's fun that you can kind of beat it in one sitting. Go back to the top of the stairs, into the room on the left. This is Tess's room, which is you, the character you're playing. You'll have to pack everything in her room before you move on, so let's start with the computer desk on the right-hand side as we entered. Here, next to the computer, you can find an eraser, pick it up and pack it. Another eraser, pick it up and pack it. Another mug, pick it up and pack it. And then you get the drift. We're going to basically have to pack every single item in her room. So we're going to start with that desk, a couple nail polishes, a couple of erasers, a page. There is a plane ticket. You plan on moving to Reno. It's kind of a secret you're keeping from your mom. This is not something you can pack, so we're going to have to leave it on the desk here just by putting it back. On the left-hand side wall, you can pack the calendar. Make sure you do that. Now let's start looking through the drawers. There is some auto-aim in this game, which makes it a little bit awkward sometimes to open some of these drawers. But start with the very, very bottom drawer. Pick up the book and pack that. Pick up the hair clips, pack those. And then we can go to the middle drawer here, pack everything in there, which is just your report card. And then in the top drawer, let's pack a pamphlet, let's pack a chapstick, let's pack a nail polish, and let's pack another eraser. This should take care of the little desk area. Don't worry, you'll have a chance if you miss something to basically like kind of come back before you leave the room. There is a work shirt on the chair here. Unfortunately, you can't pack it quite yet. So we're going to just put it back, but interact with it just to be safe. There is a cup here, which you can't pack because it's garbage. But behind the cup, pick up the book and pack that. Pick up the matchbooks, pack those. Pick up the little trophy here of Nevada. And then pick up the jar. Under the jar is a birthday card. And then above this little cabinet, there is a cork board. So make sure you grab the tabloid, the photo strip, the newspaper clipping, and the note. Make sure you pack all of those up. We're now ready to move on towards the bed. Right next to the bed, kind of underneath it, you can pick up a work pen. Underneath the bed, you can also pick up the hip hippo, which is a little stuffed animal. On the cabinet behind the bed, you can pick up the geode. You might have to approach from the other side if it's too far. You can also pick up Mr. Bun, and then you can start moving your way to the other side and to that cabinet, because there is something very well hidden next to the radio, which is a birthday card. We'll make sure to pick that up. Check the floor near the other side of the bed. Luckily, nothing there. We can then move on to the wall, and on the wall, we can pack a poster. Underneath that poster, pack the power strip. Next to that is a hairbrush. Pack that. You can't pack any of the tapes, and you can't pack the hangers on the ground. You'll see your little TV cabinet here. Make sure you pack the photo on the side of this cabinet. Let's start from the bottom drawer now. In the bottom drawer, it seems to be empty. Second drawer does have what appears to be another birthday card. We all collected those as kids, didn't we? And in the top drawer, we can grab a friendship bracelet that we have with Tess. Forget her name. The other girl. We'll text her later.
Oh,
and a Tamagotchi. On the very top, you can have your TV and your VCR. You can't take those with you. There is a note that you can pack, as well as 2 erasers that you can pack. There are some DVD covers that you can interact with, but you can't pack them as you got to bring them back to work. And then if you keep looking down, there is a garbage here. You can open and close the trash can, but I don't think anything is in there. Same with your backpack. There is a poster on the wall kind of connected to the closet here. And then if you go into the closet and look on top of the boxes, there is a yearbook. Pack that up as well. Assuming you didn't miss anything, the box will be automatically closed after a cutscene. We'll get hopefully a rare achievement worth 90 Gamerscore, and we can now actually move on to some of the story and progressing it. So what you want to do is you want to make your way into the attic. To do that, leave the room, take a right-hand turn, take another right-hand turn to end up in Grandma's room. Once in Grandma's room, go to the right side of the bed and open up the cabinet. And here you want to pick up the hook pole. This should automatically start a conversation with your mom that you can kind of tab through really quickly. You can then leave the room and look up to the ceiling to interact with the hatch into the attic. You can basically fast travel into the attic.
Okay, come on up.
And like I said earlier, obviously this is a kind of almost like a speed run. We're just doing the bare minimum we need to get all the achievements, all the trophies, complete the story. But obviously there's all these little knickknacks and things you can interact with up here. If you do want to learn more about the story, more about your family, and more about the actual mystery of the game, you can do that. But for us, we're just going to go all the way to the end of the attic, and you'll find this little crate where you can remove the sheet from the crate.
Hold on.
Little conversation with your mom here.
Maybe if you're Mom, what's in there?
Tab through that. And then just in front of us is this suitcase we found. Open up the suitcase. You can pick up the snapshots. You can put them down, but you are forced to have a small conversation with your mom here. And there's a little bit of a reveal here. Your mom, Opal, is she had a summer home. And your grandmother, Helen, may or may not have been seeing a mystery man.
Dogs don't only it was a sure.
None of these, this conversation doesn't really matter too much. You can pick up all of the items here, but what we're after is this red diary on the left side. So we're going to pick up the postcard and put it down. Unfortunately, you have to have a conversation about this postcard. If you were playing the game normally, obviously, this is all pretty interesting stuff. It really gives you a lot of the backstory. Explains kind of everything that's going on in this family dynamic and everything like that. But now that we're ready, we can pick up the diary. We want to pick that up and tab on through this. Once you open up this diary with the bumper, you can press the bumper again to turn the page, revealing a secret key. At this point, you can call your mom to talk about this secret key, and this secret key is
to find out, don't you want to know? I don't know, Ted.
Basically a way into the summer house.
We can see it, Mom.
You know, we could spare.
Right.
And some of those little...
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the road. I could really use a pack your overnight bag.
So, your mom Opal here has decided that she is cool. Let's do a little bit of a road trip to get to the summer house. All right, from here, you can obviously, again, kind of look all through the car and discover a bunch of things, but we're going to do the bare minimum here, and that is to interact with the radio. Ask your mom if it's okay if you turn it on. Once you do turn it on, you want to tune the radio, seek to the channel 106.7. And if you listen closely, it kind of just sounds like alien noises almost. And you're just going to wait about 10 seconds. This will automatically start a conversation with your mom about these sounds. And this should unlock another missable achievement or trophy for us.
What the hell is? It makes me uncomfortable.
I think it's a...
Is that...
maybe?
Whoa.
We're going to skip through this conversation, but they're just kind of talking about aliens a little bit. So that's going to be probably the rarest achievement in the game there. And then what we have to do next is annoy our mom. And to do that, we're going to look into the back seat. We're going to look at the backpack, and we're going to open up the backpack. And the most 2000s thing ever happens. We get yelled at by our parents for being distracting while they're driving. She starts getting a little bit annoyed that we're looking at our backpack. And then once you have the small conversation, open and close the backpack like 5 times. And then she'll get super annoyed. And after she gets super annoyed, I'm just going to pick the top dialogue option. And after she gets very annoyed, we do get an achievement or trophy for that. Now, to actually make progress in the game, let's open up the glove compartment. Let's pick up the phone. And then let's text Francine, who is our friend whose name I forgot earlier. After you send a couple of text messages to Francine, this conversation will end. Even the way they text and, the conversation on the phone here, very 2000s. A lot more little lingo than I personally used when I texted in the 2000s. But that's that. After you text Francine, pick up your phone again and then text your dad. This conversation doesn't go anywhere quite yet. But after you have exhausted those options, you can now look to your mom and talk to her.
When did you... Oh, I'm sick.
Here you'll get a little bit of a back story information about the summer house, when she was there as a child, about a little bit about her sister, August, who is your Aunt August. And after this dialogue, you can go back onto your phone and you can continue texting your dad, and that's what's going to be required in order to basically get to the next scene, which is at the summer house itself.
Because I knew
it needed a lot of work.
Well, not loud.
We're already like a significant chunk of the way through the game, by the way.
To live in?
Probably about almost a third of the way through.
Well, it's
okay.
But we're getting...
We'll find...
What kind of...
I don't know yet.
We're going to be living...
No.
At least in terms of this guide where we're getting all the achievements and trophies.
Mom.
Again, if you were really going through every conversation, picking up every little item, you'd probably take like an hour or more to get here.
Theater.
Yeah.
It's a...
Yeah.
Also, if you are finding this video helpful so far, you think I've earned it, drop a like on the video. If you want to decide at the end of the video, you can do that as well. We do also have a Patreon for those who want to go above and beyond in supporting this channel in the future. After that conversation, look back towards the glove box. Your phone should ring or vibrate. And this is your dad texting you back. You'll now have a short conversation with your dad. So just basically tab through this as quickly as possible until you put your phone down. By the way, there is a chapter select at the end of the game, like I told you. The first chapter was called Helen's House, and this current chapter is called Hit the Road. The next chapter is called Summer Home. If you are wondering, you'll be able to chapter select later on if you do want to mop up anything. if you'd rather enjoy the game naturally. This is the summer home. Once we get here, we are in the next scene. There's a couple of things to do here, a couple of missable achievements as well. So we're going to grab kind of everything we can.
Are you okay? Well, and
It does start with a little bit of a conversation, which we can tab through or enjoy if you prefer. I did actually enjoy a fair bit of this game on my first playthrough before I just went for achievements. We do have to find a way into the home. Naturally, you would go through this green door, but we're going to do the kind of shortcut way because I know exactly where to go and what to do to make this as fast as possible. We're going to walk around to the left-hand side. We're going to end up at the back. Near the back here, you'll find the doghouse. But next to the house, or kind of at the foot of the house here, you'll see a small hatch. And you can interact with that hatch to basically crawl under the house, because one of the doors we need to get through is locked, and this is the way to get past that locked door. We're skipping all the steps of figuring out that puzzle. I'm just giving you the solution right away. We are now under the house, and we need to get to the center, in the bottom middle area here, and there's a hatch. And we can crawl through that hatch to end up inside of the house, open the door from the back side to let our mom in, and then we can use just the front door basically to get in and out if we want. So here I do believe you have to go in a spiral to get under the middle of the house. There are some pictures here. Again, feel free to explore and interact with things if you desire. Gives you just a lot more backstory and probably makes you appreciate this game a lot more.
Mom's gotta see this.
We can take these photos and then climb up through the hatch, open up the back door for the mom automatically via this cutscene, which is a black screen.
Hey, Mom, look.
Another letter.
He wanted to live. Maybe we can.
It looks like a.
We can tab through this conversation, but once we gain control of our character here, there's actually a couple of achievements we can grab kind of right away. So as soon as you spawn, the opened back door should be right in front of you. Walk forward and take a right-hand turn towards the laundry machines. Past the laundry machines is the washroom. On the window or the mirror of the washroom, you can pick up the photo. And this is a photo of a young waitress, Opal. Your mom, when she was a young lady, worked as a roller skater server. And finding this picture is a missable achievement or trophy. There it goes. Now the next thing we can do is start walking back into the main hallway. Take a left-hand turn, end of the hallway. You'll find this room here.
Go mechanic. Oh man.
I believe this is Aunt August's room, which is your mom's sister, who obviously had a room in the summer house. Kind of makes sense. Let's skip through that conversation though. There's two things that are very important to get in this room. The first thing to do is look to the right. You are standing next to a small little shelf cabinet. In here, pick up a key. This key opens up a van that is parked out front. For some reason, the game's not letting me pick it up. And we're going to need this key to basically continue the story. But there is also another missable achievement/trophy that starts in this room. And to start it, what you want to do is you want to look at this dresser drawers. You want to open up the bottom one, I believe. Here you can find a map. Once you pick up the map, you do need to press Hey Mom to start a small conversation about what this map shows. And it shows buried treasure in the back next to the doghouse. So let's get the treasure next to the doghouse, which is missable. You can try to leave out this door if you want. And then if you leave out this door, you can turn to the right and to the right again. Here you'll see the doghouse. And next to the doghouse, there's a pile of dirt that looks slightly different than the other piles of dirt. You want to dig here, and you will find this hidden treasure that your aunt buried next to the doghouse. Once you open up the box, you actually have to interact with the items inside. So pick up the drawing and put it back. Pick up the tie and put it back. And then pick up the note and put that back as well. At this point, actually, you do want to pick up the note, sorry, and then you want to press Hey Mom on the note. This starts a conversation with your mom about the note.
I don't know. Maybe we
and then at the end of this conversation, you can choose to take the stuff with you or leave the stuff here. Doesn't matter which one you pick, but either option does result in an achievement or trophy. Next, we can actually work to progress the story a little bit. Let's start walking back to where we came from. In the front of the house, you'll notice a hippie van, as they call it in the game. And if you approach the back, you can use the key that we found in August's room to unlock the back door.
Oh, it's got an ugly...
I mean, what do you...
Ton of different knickknacks to go through here if you do want the backstory, a little bit more information about these people. But if all you need is to progress the story, walk to the front, open the glove compartment. Sorry, that auto aim is a little tricky there. And here you can find a screwdriver. You want to pick up the screwdriver and take it, and then you can just leave right out the back.
Find anything?
Well, I found just the screwdriver.
Oh, that might...
Now that we have the screwdriver, we can walk forward, and we can enter this door that we opened up from the back. This brings us right into August's room. Enter into the hallway, forward and to the left, to find a locked room that is your grandmother's room.
What's in here?
That was my mom and...
Look, I think I can...
It was locked before. You may have not known that because, obviously, watching this video, you skipped a lot of steps to get here. Once you're in this room, though, again, a bunch of things you can explore if you so desire. But what we're after is the desk, which we can now open with the screwdriver or with the key. I don't even know what we're using to open it, actually.
This gives me...
And then you can open it up. We're actually using the key from the grandma's diary, which was in the attic. Very clever. And then at this point, what you can do is you can pick up the sympathy card and the other sympathy card. Doesn't matter. You want to pick up the small note in the middle of the desk, and then you want to read it. And then you want to flip it over. And then you want to say, "Hey, Mom."
I'm sorry.
What does he mean when he says...
And here is kind of a big reveal of sorts. There's potential that Grandma Helen ran away with a man named Pierre in Canada, and that maybe her affair was a little bit more serious than your mom originally believed. So you guys are going to continue a road trip towards Canada, and that road trip is hopefully going to give you a little bit more information about, you know, what's going on in your family and who's who.
Yeah. Hotel night. We're getting...
Thank you, Mom.
But we didn't find that...
Yeah. Come on.
Now, you can keep exploring here if you want, but again, if you're just looking to kind of beat the game as quickly as possible, you can exit the door. You can take a right-hand turn and go through August's room to end up in the front, and then take a left-hand turn, walk past the hippie gate or the hippie car to go to the gate, interact with the gate to leave the area. We now end up back in the car. We do unlock an achievement or trophy here just for completing the summer home. And here we'll end up inside of a motel. There are a couple of missable things we can grab in the motel, but first we'll get through the conversation.
I'm gonna head down. I'll be back with some...
Well,
what do you want to eat?
oh.
Your mom's going to go offer to get you food, so let her do that for you. Close your journal, walk forward, and find your cell phone on the table in front of you to check your texts. Here, you'll want to text Francine. And just keep texting Francine until you can no longer text. And these text messages should end with you putting your phone away. But during these text messages, you're basically going to tell Francine that you're going to look around this kind of weird motel, and if you find anything cool, you'll text her and let her know, as friends do. You can also text your dad, but I don't know if it necessarily matters, but it just kind of gives you a little bit more backstory about your dad. Obviously, your parents are no longer together. You kind of have both sides of the story. You're caught in between their kind of messy dealings. You like both your parents, and it seems like your mom doesn't really like your dad in this game. So once you're able to, though, you want to put that phone away. Hopefully, there you go. Automatically, if you just kind of tab through every option, it does put your phone in your pocket. And now you want to go find something weird. And there's a very specific item you're after. You want to walk towards the front door of the motel, take a left-hand turn towards the washroom, open up that suitcase, find the pill bottle, pick it up, and text Francine. And then you can just tab through these, and this is a missable achievement / trophy, which should pop right now. From here, what we can do is we're going to have to proceed time so that our mom shows up. So walk back towards the table, open up your backpack, and interact with your homework. And once you do that, your mom will come back with a burger.
Thanks.
And the burger has a missable achievement or trophy related to it as well. So just wait for the conversation to go through. And then here you want to open the lid of the burger. And then you want to press A on the burger to take a bite. And keep pressing A on the burger to keep eating it until it completely disappears. It's going to take 5 total clicks. Boom. And just like that, you have the Clean Plate Club achievement for eating a whole burger. And then you can wrap up your homework in order to basically finish the motel scene.
Hello.
Hi, and
This is
yeah.
You do have a quick conversation here with your Aunt August. There are some truths revealed to you
It's pretty exciting.
about how I believe your aunt offered you and your mom a place to stay at some point in your life when they needed it. And this is kind of all a surprise to you. Kind of gives you some stuff to talk about with your mom later on in the game.
That must have been.
We're definitely over the halfway point in my opinion, so
What?
we're kind of in that home stretch.
What do you mean?
she.
Why?
Oh, hold on.
Love you.
So after that conversation, you can turn towards the bed, and you can just press A to go to bed, and that should finish the motel scene. If you're curious here, we are at 13 out of 16 for achievements, 800 out of 1,000.
And Todd needs her to say. Tess,
What?
are you even listening?
Yeah.
If you want to just drive.
Once gaining control of your character, feel free to close your journal. You have to check for 2 places for your cell phone. Start off by looking in the back and checking your backpack.
Wait. Where's my? Did I put it in the?
At this point, you want to turn towards the front of the car and open up the glove compartment.
Oh, no.
And at this point, you'll
What?
notice that your
My
cell
cell
phone
phone.
is
I
gone.
love my.
This should automatically
Yes,
start a
I-
conversation with your mom.
We have to
You
go
can
past
choose any
the-
dialogue
You know,
option that you're comfortable with,
It might be
but the
gone.
top
Sure,
ones
Mom?
work just fine.
We can.
I am not.
You know. And now.
Hold on.
You never told
The
me.
ones you found.
Well-
You didn't hide it. If you're gonna snoop. Yeah.
This is
listen
one of
to
the kind of longer
brains, that's what
conversations
the song-
probably in the car, I think. There's, you know, she finds out that you looked at her pills.
And I said,
She gets mad at you for leaving your phone at the hotel. You talk a little bit about your dad, I believe, and
I don't.
all that
think
good
it's-
Where are
stuff.
you going?
You-
We were fine.
Maybe
All
you
that
think
good
it's all
childhood
right.
trauma
Why
stuff
not? The divorce.
that you may
I
have
don't
forgotten
like
about and put in your repressed
We're not
memory,
going.
not
Yes,
speaking
what
from
do you mean?
experience.
From my.
From
If you just.
the truth. Oh, so that's what. Fine.
You.
You're what? So then.
So
I'm
if you
sure
are
he's-
not aware, we are currently on our way to a houseboat, and that houseboat is where Pierre lives, who maybe or maybe not your grandmother ran away with. So at this point, your mom's mad at you. You're no longer talking. You do have to try to talk to your mom, but she's so angry. She's so pissed that she's actually not going to talk to you at all. So look to her, look back, and then look
Mom.
back to her again, back and forth. And then after she ignores you for the second time, it should automatically fast forward to the
It's a dead end.
houseboat.
It's not.
Where?
That gives you the Road Warrior achievement / trophy as well. Warrior is spelled
think if
wrong
they're
because
here.
I think it's actually Warrior. I
Thanks
guess
for
that makes
the-
sense. But now we're at the houseboat. Just proceed with the options here. You can put your diary away, and what you want to do is you want to look forward. You'll notice some mailboxes as you come down these steps. You can memorize where they are for later, but just follow the path here. And then what you want to do is you want to walk forward. Larry's shack to the left there. Feel free to look through it. Again, just more details, more backstory, more interesting things. But to the right of the shack, you can find this plank, which you can't interact with yet, actually. What you have to try to do is you have to try to cross this gap to the right-hand side. And you won't be able to. You have to call your mom, and she says, well, what if we use something to get across? And then you can use this plank that I was just pointing out.
This is so stupid.
But we.
Put the plank down automatically.
The,
You're going to do a heads or
No,
tails game in order to figure out who's going to cross first.
No,
And
wait,
just
because
tab
then
through
I
this
should-
conversation,
let's call
and
it
you'll be able to go on through.
heads. I lost
In a manner.
after you.
All right.
Careful.
Not very.
Not quite as.
Yeah. Let's hope we can.
I think that might actually be a random choice because that is different than what happened for me last time. All right, you can now move across the plank. There will be a door on your left. You're free to go inside and explore if you want, but because I know everything in this game, walk past that door, along the edge of the house here towards the water. As you come around the corner, you can descend down the ladder to end up downstairs. Here, there is a door that we can enter through, which we weren't able to enter through before. Again, a bunch of rooms here we're going to ignore for the purposes of this video, but walk through the hallway to the very end, and then there will be a bar on your left. Go behind the bar, looking into it in order to find a key. Take that key with you. You can then exit out the closest door, which you end up kind of underneath where you were earlier. Take a left-hand turn as you exit that door, and then climb up the ladder. After climbing up the ladder, you can now go into the front door of this house. And the first door on your left is the door that needed the key, which we now have. Go inside of Pierre's office and open up the top right drawer. There is a note here which we can pick up and we can put back. And more importantly, we want to pick up the key. This key is to the mailbox that I pointed out earlier. So exit this office, turn to the right-hand side, turn to the right again, and move up the plank. Turn to the left, and then follow the path back towards the mailbox. The key is to the bottom right mailbox, so that's the one we're going to interact with. And inside you can find an envelope, pick it up.
Let's crack this.
Wait.
And then here you can have kind of your final decision. It's really important, but it kind of doesn't matter, I don't think.
I suppose you.
But you end up opening the envelope, and you basically end up finding out that Pierre is your father, or your grandfather, I guess, for the main character.
So Pierre,
And your mom finds out, kind of more importantly, that Pierre was her dad.
No, I mean,
Right.
I'm.
Not except with Grandma.
So my father he was just. We never got to.
It kind of did, as far as you. So
There's a bunch of mystery and intrigue here about secret identities, Aunt Helen kind of sneaking around behind people's backs, people possibly dying and then step-parents replacing them, and so on and so on. So it's a little bit of a story of discovery, of oneself, metaphors, all that good stuff. I typically love these types of games, by the way. This one, it's not as good as some of the other ones, but it is very unique, so I do give it kind of bonus marks for that, because so many games feel so similar to each other nowadays that it is really nice to, once in a while, play a game that is so completely different from other games. At this point, you will receive the achievement or trophy for exploring the houseboat, and at this point, you can turn to your mom and have a conversation. And this is essentially the final conversation of the game.
Well, and for
is that what you?
yeah.
After this conversation, there is another thing that's going to happen, so let me talk about that. But before I talk about that, just another simple ask. I put a couple of hours into this video, and if you think it's helped you and you think I deserve it, drop a like on the YouTube video. Maybe you want to recommend the video to a friend. That would be very helpful as well. You help me, I help you. It's a win-win situation. Additionally, there is a Patreon page for those willing to or wanting to take a step above and beyond. I've also enabled super thanks on YouTube if you really want to. After this conversation, though, the credits do roll, and with the credits rolling, the last achievement pops. And just like that, we will get our 1,000 out of 1,000 Gamerscore in just about 30 minutes. A little bit over that 30-minute mark. I'm sure you could speedrun it to be even quicker, but I like to pace my videos in a way where you can keep along with them and not feel like you're falling behind or I'm rushing you through.
It seems like a.
Yeah.
Are you worried about
These days?
Yeah.
We've been through.
Yeah.
I will.
There's another couple dialogue choices. You're free to kind of choose your own adventure or pay attention or not. But, you know, it is a pretty much happy ending despite kind of the mystery and some arguing early on in the game. It is a happy ending. You and your mom are amicable. And as the car drives down the road and we get the game logo showing up, the credits will begin to roll here in just a second, and the achievement should pop right now. I'm a little early on it. I was hoping it would be a really cool ending to the video. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope it was helpful. There's our 1,000 gamer score, and hopefully I see you soon. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Peace!